we all love our dogs dearly, and it can be quite tempting to give them a snack from our very own dinner plate, especially when they're giving us those puppy dog eyes. However, it is certainly not the best thing to do. So tell me, Dr. Richard Thomas, these are 12 things that you've come with. Why is chocolate bad for dogs?
They're pretty sensitive to the caffeine and the theobromine that's in it. So lower doses acts like a bit of a stimulant. So okay, the heart rate goes up, but then they develop pretty bad gastroenteritis. They vomit, get diarrhea, all the way through to severe heart problems and dropping dead. So it can absolutely be fatal.
So no chocolate. No chocolate for dogs. Grapes, raisins, and sultanas.
Yeah, so those are what we call nephrotoxic. So they'll actually destroy your kidneys potentially.
Wow.
For different dogs. Some dogs can eat them and be totally fine. You know, some dogs will have a small handful of sultanas and drop dead of kidney failure 3 days later. There's no, we don't even know the toxin that's in them, but we absolutely know that for some dogs that will cause massive kidney failure.
Wow. Garlic and onions.
Yeah, so these it's a pretty common one actually because
we're giving our dogs goodness.
Totally, yeah, and garlic was also very old school kind of flea preventative. That it never worked, but also it was old school.
Nonna told me.
Yeah. So let's say you're having barbecue, you've got a big pile of cooked onions, and dog jumps on the table, eats the lot. That's going to be pretty dangerous. That's probably going to destroy their red blood cells, and it can potentially be quite fatal. So some dogs will require a blood transfusion. It's pretty serious if they eat too many onions in particular. Yeah.
Incredible. Avocado.
Avocado, look, it's debatable. We used to think maybe it causes some gastroenteritis, but because of a toxin called persin.
That's diarrhea and vomiting.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, it is. Yeah. Turns out it actually may not be that toxic. So, but probably play it safe and don't.
Yeah, stay away from the avocados. Keep that for yourself.
Yeah.
Coffee and tea. Who feeds their dog coffee? Seriously.
It's never deliberate, but what happens is that they drink coffee, and particularly if it's got cream and sweetener in it.
Right. You've left the coffee on the table, and next thing you come back and they've had a latte.
Exactly. Similar to the chocolate in that they're very caffeine sensitive, gives them gastro, causes some heart issues, can be very serious.
Xylitol.
So xylitol is a sugar alcohol found in a lot of sugar-free sweets. Like sugar-free chocolate is normally based on xylitol. And to you and I, it doesn't do anything. But to pets, it just drops their blood sugars.
Wow.
And so they essentially seizure, they become very, very weak. It can be very serious.
There's also in some peanut butters too.
Really?
I think so. So it's the sugar-free, anything sugar-free, like sugar-free peanut butter and sugar-free lollies, I'm pretty sure.
You've definitely seen the lollies, the chocolate, peanut butter, wouldn't surprise me.
So check out your peanut butter. Dogs can have peanut butter, but just no xylitol
real peanut butter.
there.
Yeah, it's fine.
Real.
Yeah.
Cooked bones.
Cooked bones. So raw bones still, they're fresh, they're debatable, but cooked bones are very brittle. And so, when dogs chew them, they sort of break up into little shards, and they swallow the shards, and essentially they sort of, as they move through their gastrointestinal system, these shards macerate the intestinal lining, and it can even cause obstruction in the esophagus, giving constipation, nasty infections. It can absolutely have a lot of problems with cooked bones.
So never feed them any cooked bones, realistically?
I wouldn't touch them. No, they're way too brittle.
So what sort of bones should we feed them then?
It's very debatable. Look, there are some excellent vets out there that will say never give any bones, and they can totally back it up. Let's say last year, for example, we did a couple of major operations because dogs had eaten raw bones. So we had one operation where we had to open a dog's stomach and push a bone that was stuck in his esophagus just in front of his heart, pushing out of his throat because it was stuck there. Other dogs, we've had to remove them from their intestines. We've done major kind of enemas to get rid of constipation caused from bones. that's all the bad stuff, right?
Giving a dog an enema, that'd be fun.
So it's normally under an anaesthetic if it's bad.
Yeah.
But the potential benefits would be, I mean, look, some old dogs come in and they've got like amazing teeth, and it's because they've had bones their whole life. And healthy teeth are very, very important for systemic health. So we know that with healthier teeth, you're more likely to have a healthy heart, more likely to have healthy kidneys, for example. So there's definitely some,
I guess.
Yeah, there's some real pros and cons to bones. I mean, and look, they can even cause, most of the time they're good for teeth, but sometimes you'll even get let's say a slab fracture just by chewing the bone too enthusiastically. So
dogs do that. Yeah,
they'll do that. So look, for my dogs, I used to feed them like a raw chicken frame occasionally, because that's a very soft bone. But look, you'll have excellent vets say don't give them at all, and they can back it up.
Yep.
And you'll have excellent vets say definitely give them, and because of particularly their oral health benefits.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what about nuts?
Nuts. So macadamia nuts are the main one. Yeah. So that's like a central nervous system stimulant. So you can develop pretty major, start off just seizuring, but that can progress to tremoring as well. I'm sorry. Starts off with tremoring, can progress to seizuring.
Wow, just from the macadamia nuts.
Yeah.
And you've got mouldy pecans and walnuts as well.
Yeah, they're more rare. Mouldy pecans contain a thing called a mycotoxin it looks similar to the macadamia nut toxicity, actually. But again, there's no antidote, so we just treat symptomatically. It can be pretty bad. Yeah.
So peanuts are fine, though?
Peanuts totally fine.
There we go.
Yeah, absolutely.
And sage?
Sage, yeah, absolutely. So that can cause gastroenteritis. That's a pretty rare one. I'm yet to see sage toxicity, to be honest.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's definitely possible.
Keep them out of the herb garden.
Yeah.
Now, alcohol.
Alcohol, yeah, totally.
No beer for your dogs.
No beer. It's all thirst dependent. Don't give it. So look, that can cause seizuring infants if had too much. Yeah, they don't seem to handle it the same way we do. So.
And dairy foods?
Dairy foods are, again, dose dependent, but dogs and cats don't have much of the enzyme lactase to break down lactose. And so think of them as dairy intolerant.
Okay.
So it's not going to kill them.
It's going to give them the round.
It's going to get messy. Yeah,
and
you're not going to like being around them. Yeah. In fact, practically they can't digest the lactose. So little bits of cheese and little bits of milk, you won't notice it, but
better off giving them lactose free.
Just give them a little bit. They don't need it.
Buy a bit more expensive stuff. Get the lactose free, or just don't give them any at all. They don't need it, do they?
They don't need it. No. It's an unusual thing for them to be drinking as an adult.
So what about fatty foods such as sausages, ham bones, bacon?
Yeah,
the fat off meats.
Totally. Yeah. I mean, look, curiously, speaking of all these, technically it's not a toxin, but if you have too much fat, it'll just make you really sick. It's probably the most common thing we see in terms of all the foods and stuff you shouldn't be eating. Pig meat, any kind of pork, ham, bacon is probably the biggest culprit. And for some reason, when pets have too much of that, it can trigger really severe pain in their stomach, a really nasty pancreatitis. It can be life-threatening. Yeah. So if you're going to give it, just tiny amounts. Yeah. Don't give them the big bones. Don't give them all the fatty
cuts of your meat.
No, it's going to make them very sick, potentially.
So say, for instance, your pet has consumed one of these things. One of our staff, their pet had consumed some tablets the other day that they'd gotten hold of.
Okay.
So what should you do? Because basically, it depends on what they've eaten as to how serious it is.
It does depend on what they've done. Okay, let's take tablets as the example. Just come straight down to the vet, basically. Bring the tablets down.
Yes.
Right? What we'll do is we'll calculate what the toxic dose would be, whether your pet's at risk, might recommend some treatments, might recommend some tests first. Really depends on the toxin and the dose and the time from exposure. So.
Yeah.
So there's a couple of factors there. As a general rule, just go and see the vet straight away.
Yeah, so if you're worried about any of those things we've just mentioned, basically just go and see the vet. If you know that the dog's consumed any of that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Do they have to start showing symptoms, or should we just come straight there?
No, come straight down.
Yeah.
Often prevention's better than cure.
Yeah, so they've eaten a whole onion, basically, just come on down.
Come down.
Yeah.
We'll just make them vomit.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So that's what you do, induce the vomiting.
Honestly, the cure for like 9 9 or 10 of these is just going to be to make them vomit it straight back up and cross your fingers for a while. So,
wow.
Yeah.
Glad that's you, not me.
It's a glamorous job.
Yeah. Enema and vomiting at the same time.
Oh yeah, let's just cover everything. So,
beautiful. So no matter how tempting it might be to share your meal with your dog, be sure to check first if it's safe for them to eat. Remember those 12 things there, definitely. And, feed treats in moderation as well, because just go and get the proper treats for them, dog treats. So if you are unsure or you believe your dog has ingested something they shouldn't, definitely get straight into Cairns Vets today and they can help you out.